The shot heard round the world, what may have happened and what did happen on April 19th, 1775. Alerted by Paul Revere, Samuel Prescott, and William Dawes, the militia in Lexington was up and waiting for the English soldiers when they arrived at the town green on the morning of April 19th, 1775. As the English approached the militia, their leader, Major John Pitcairn, ordered the rebels to lay down their weapons. The colonial militia leader, Captain John Parker, was a veteran of the French and Indian War and knew that his militia was outmanned and outgunned. There is some indication that he ordered the militia to disperse, and while some of his men may have started to move back to their homes, they did not drop their weapons. At this point, things seemed quickly to spiral out of control. No one is sure from where, but a shot rang out on the green. There are a number of conflicting reports as to where it came from, although many witnesses agree that none of the forces facing each other on the green fired first. From there, chaos erupted as the English opened fire on the colonials, with some colonials offering a return, but with little to no effect. The English, apparently unordered, then fixed their bayonets to the end of their rifles and charged at the retreating colonials. By the end of the battle, 8 colonists were killed and 10 were wounded, as opposed to 1 minor wound to the English. From Lexington, the English marched toward Concord, where they hoped to find the weapons and ammunition that the colonists had stored there. They were unaware that Paul Revere had ridden out a couple of days earlier and that nothing of what they were looking for was there. The Concord militia initially marched out to meet the redcoats, but seeing that they were overmatched, they retreated through the town and across a bridge over the Concord River to a hill where they could observe the movements of their opponents. As the colonials watched from the hill, their numbers grew as militia members from surrounding communities arrived on the scene. As the redcoats searched, they set fire to some gun carriages, which would have been used to transport and support the 3 heavy cannons that they found. The fire spread to the town meeting house, which the English helped to put out as part of a bucket brigade, also made up of local townspeople. As the smoke rose from the town, the militia came down from their perch and moved toward the North Bridge. The English were guarding both ends of the bridge as a way to protect the avenue of retreat. At this point, a scared and tired English soldier fired toward the militia, followed by 2 more shots from the redcoats. 2 militiamen at the front of the ranks died instantly. The militia were ordered to return fire, leading to the death of 12 redcoats as they tried to cross the North Bridge and return to the town. The English took this firing as a sign for them to return to Boston, and they began to prepare for the long journey back. This group of soldiers had been on the march since late the night before, and as it was now the afternoon and they had been in 2 skirmishes, they were exhausted and looking for whatever help they could get. Unfortunately for them, they only saw more militiamen from the surrounding towns begin to appear along their route back. It appeared that at every turn in the road, the English were under attack. There may have been some redcoats who were considering surrender, until a relief force arrived and gave the group a chance to rest. By the time the retreat started again, close to 4,000 militiamen had arrived on the scene and peppered the English all the way back to Cambridge. Instead of trying to cross the bridge from Cambridge back into Boston, the English moved toward Charlestown, believing that the hills there would help to provide an adequate defense against the militia, and would also allow them to be rescued by the English Navy in Boston Harbor. By the close of April 19, 1775, the English had suffered close to 300 casualties, killed, wounded, or missing, while the colonists had suffered fewer than 100. The colonial victory led to more support from more than 15,000 militiamen as they worked to surround Boston and cut the English off from the Massachusetts mainland. The English would lick their wounds in Boston and plan for a day when they could work to break the colonial ring around the city.